All right, guys, so we got some big news here coming out of the courts. Let me walk you through it. So U.S. District Judge William Young rules that the Trump administration's efforts to deport non-citizens for protesting the war in Gaza is unconstitutional. So this is the guy right here. Understand something. He is a Ronald Reagan appointee, a very conservative judge. And this guy took one look at it and said, oh, it's very obvious what you're doing. You're trying to take away people's free speech rights because you don't like that they're pro-Palestine. You don't like that they're critical of Israel. That's completely and utterly unacceptable. All right, so let me walk you through this here. So Judge Young, a federal judge, finds that the Trump administration's policy targeting pro-Palestinian students for deportations violated the First Amendment. His blistering 161-page ruling starts with a threat he received in chambers and his response. So he got something sent to him on June 19th, 2025. And it said, Trump has pardons and tanks. What do you have? In other words, this is somebody in MAGA threatening the judge, saying, you don't have any power anymore. You better just go along with what the emperor says. Know your role and shut your mouth is what MAGA is saying. Fucking be a good little bitch to Trump. Cuck yourself to him. And he actually responded to the person. He said, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Anonymous, alone I have nothing but my sense of duty. Together, we the people of the United States, you and me, have our magnificent Constitution. Here's how that works out in a specific case. So responding and saying, look, man, we have the Constitution. That's what matters, and that's what I'm going to fight for. This is a thundering ruling by Senior U.S. District Judge William Young, a Reagan appointee. He writes that it's perhaps the most important case in his jurisdiction and writes more than a dozen pages on justice in the Trump era focused on Trump's bullying and retribution. Quote, he seems to be winning. He ignores everything, and he keeps bullying ahead. Everything above in this section is necessary background to frame the problem this president has with the First Amendment. Where things run off the rails for him is his fixation with retribution. I am your retribution, he thundered famously while on the campaign trail. Yet government retribution for speech, precisely what happened here, is directly forbidden by the First Amendment. For all these reasons, this court finds as fact and concludes as matter of law that Secretaries Noem and Rubio and their several agents and subordinates acted in concert to misuse the sweeping powers of their respective offices to target non-citizen pro-Palestinians for deportation primarily on account of their First Amendment protected political speech. They did so in order to strike fear into similarly situated non-citizen pro-Palestinian individuals, proactively and effectively curbing lawful pro-Palestinian speech and intentionally denying such individuals, including the plaintiffs here, the freedom of speech that is their right. Moreover, the effect of these targeted deportation proceedings continues unconstitutionally to chill freedom of speech to this day. So, look, guys, my only issue with what happened here is we all knew that this was the correct result. We all knew that. Everybody knows that. Everybody fucking knows that. But it takes so long so they ruin somebody's life. Think of Mahmoud Khalil or Rumaisa Ozturk. They ruin somebody's life. They lock them up for an extended period of time. They try to kick them out of the fucking country. They do all these things to make their life a living fucking hell, knowing all along all of this is unconstitutional and illegal. Then eventually, fucking 6 months later, 8 months later, you got a judge is like, yeah, I can't do that. That shit is wildly unconstitutional. But what do? They keep going as if this ruling didn't occur, right? They'll pick some new person who's pro-Palestine to fuck them up, to ruin their life, to try to deport them. Legal citizens, people here on work visas, fucking everybody's got protection. Everybody's got free speech in this country. That's the way the Constitution works. It's not like, oh, if you're an immigrant, it doesn't count. Yes, it fucking does. Yes, it does. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So the thing that's frustrating to me is if the judge says this and then you proceed to continue as if the judge didn't say this, why shouldn't you, number one, be forced to resign? But number two, why shouldn't there be charges against you? Right? I mean, we already think Marco Rubio and Kristi Noem and Trump himself, we already know these are criminals, right? But there needs to be some sort of fucking mechanism to handcuff them and prevent them from doing this, as opposed to they'll keep committing crimes, and then every court goes, that's wrong. And then you have to wait on appeal again for all this shit to go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will go, the majority of that I'm going to go ahead and let slide. So this is the problem. What happens when you have a rogue regime that simply does not give a single solitary fuck about the law and about the Constitution? And that's where we are. They don't care about the law. They don't care about the Constitution. They make decisions knowing the decisions they're making are wildly illegal, but they do it anyway because he cares more about the power. He cares more about the control. He knows even if I abide by whatever ruling when they slap this down, it's going to be a fucking year from now anyway. So I'll largely get away with it. All the damage is done. That's the point. All the damage is done. So it's great that the courts are doing the right thing and saying the right thing. A Reagan appointee, a very right-wing judge, is saying free speech fucking matters. But how much does it really matter if they blow you off and keep going as if this ruling didn't happen either way? That's the part that I'm struggling to get my mind around. That's the part that is disturbing to me, is that, what do you do in a situation like that? Well, you should impeach. High crimes and misdemeanors. This motherfucker should be out of the office. He should also be charged criminally, of course. But they're not going to do that, which is fucking upsetting. And so here we are, just day in and day out, more rogue regime fucking nonsense. And every now and then we just get a great decision like this. So it is a victory for free speech. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, it's like one of the things I can't stand in politics, and I've told you guys this before, is having to refight battles we've already won. Just like with Trump banning, flag burning, saying, he signed an executive order saying you'll be punished with a year in prison if you flag burn. And it's like, we already had a Supreme Court case on this in the fucking 1980s about free speech. And this exact case, burning a flag, they said, yeah, that's free speech. That's political speech. It counts as free speech. It's perfectly legal. Doesn't matter if you don't like it. It is what it is. Deal with it, right? And then he's just like, oh, no, I'm just going to make it illegal again. It's like, you can't. That's kind of the whole point of the fucking ruling. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. But there you have it. This should be pumped out far and wide, though, because people need to know when it comes to what is the fundamentally American ideal here. This is the answer. It's free speech. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.